Greetings. The title of this, which is really acquiring a title that another guy put up this morning named Roy Potter. He's on YouTube, which is what's his handle? Potter QA. Roy Potter QA. Roy Potter. He's a former major in the United States military, the United States Army. He worked in the DIA, which is Defense Intelligence Agency. Okay. With me, nothing is by coincidence. Okay, so for example, when I turned on my phone a little while ago, bang! All of a sudden, there's a video from Roy Potter. That's not a coincidence that that particular video showed up right in my face at the exact moment that it was supposed to. Okay, remember how an event is an experience that can be measured as speed. So the speed at which I'm experiencing who I am, what's being spun as data, if you will, and all that light to the most powerful vortex, which is your heart, okay, I was supposed to see that video. Okay, it was presented to me. So a lot of times things get presented to me, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. But my intuition is telling me, no, take the time, okay, to experience the video. That means I'm experiencing the past because he already recorded the video, didn't he? Okay, so I was going to cover a couple of things real quick this morning. I was going to go into the physics community, like all the experiments that they run out at CERN, all the big universities that conduct their experiments. Okay, you know, the split-slit experiment that they did, I guess it was in the early 1900s. They're essentially trying to explain something that already happened. Okay, so that means that when they run all their experiments with all their big labs, they're essentially experiencing something through observation, something that's already happened, which means that's in reverse, which is running at a slower speed. Sorry. Which is why I didn't spend a lot of time going into all their labels and terms and stuff like that they get into, like the word tachyon, neutrinos, and all that, even though they have relevance. You can reverse engineer something that's already happened by trying to describe something that already was experienced. Okay? When you're living in now time, you're not living in the past. You're creating. You're essentially experiencing that which you were choosing to experience. You're the author of that experience. Okay? That experience hasn't been chosen for you. Okay? Which means you're not running a program in memory. You're running your own stuff. You're experiencing who you are because the speed at which you're doing it, okay, is your speed, our speed. Speed at which we transmit what we are experiencing in now time. Always living in now time. There isn't any future. Hasn't happened yet. There isn't any past. It's gone. That's going to make it very hard for a physicist who's trying to explain to the rest of us how it works when they're living in the past. Okay? So I'll leave that aside. Now, Roy Potter did a video this morning that was titled, see, now I can't even remember. I don't try and hold things in memory, okay, because I don't live in the past. I believe it was called Wearing Us Out, Separation and Detachment. And right away, he talked about how did he put it? Giving consent, or in other words, when evil is present, and evil does what evil does, and you're aware that evil is here. Okay, so I knew that as a child, for example. Okay, I knew it almost right out of my mother's womb, my biological mother's womb, which is why I ran to nature, go be with her. More powerful energy, a bigger, powerful spirit. Okay, so in relation to that, when you realize that you're in a spiritual war, okay, we realize we're not playing games here. Okay? This is for harvesting souls. So when you know that at that age, you realize right away where your protection is, which is your magnetic shield. That's the most powerful vortex is in your heart. Just like when Patty said to me a couple of years ago, or actually to all of us that were listening to her, Gaia's shield was down 25%. That's a big number. 25% of your magnetic shield on a planet ship? Are you kidding me? That's the scale to which we measure what happened. The underlying causality. Okay? So when you realize that all of Laniakea, which is a supercluster, is under operational security, that gives you the scale of what we're dealing with. Because this isn't the only planet ship. So when Roy Potter talked about separation, wearing us out, that's what they do. They want to wear you out, beat your spirit down, drive your energy down, okay? And you can see it, at least I do, when I observe it, when I'm running around Reno, I can see everybody's face covered up in masks, you know? Wear that mask, obey that master, and then what happens is you put that in memory and you operate off that memory, okay? I don't see a lot of people, for example, like when I ride on a bus, I wear it, although I've read the riot act, all of them. I could have you fucking arrested by the United States military for the breach of Title 26. I represent a star nation. You do something to me or want me to do something that's going to deprive me of electrons and oxygen, okay? That's an act of war. Okay? That's an act of aggression at a time in which we're supposed to be keeping the peace. So I tell them flat out, I should have you arrested. You're an enemy combatant. You're working for the enemy. This is spiritual war. You're working for them. The difference is they don't even know it. So we give them a pass. Because what it all boils down to is how much energy do we want to spend, okay, doing battle with these people. Most of these units are so fully programmed, I don't waste my energy with them. That's a lost cause. But it's not really a lost cause. It's just when you're a light worker or a light warrior and you're on mission status and you have things that you have to do, your intuition is what you're operating on, which are like self-prompts, okay, of what you're going to be doing with your energy and why you're doing what you're doing with your energy. Because you realize that you're engaged in what I call the last dance. This is the final act of this movie. So when Roy Potter was talking about wearing us out, that's exactly what they try and do, wear your energy out. Because they realize that they already lost this war. But they're not going to go down without a fight. They're control freaks. They don't want to lose control of your energy. The state of consciousness from which you experience the entire universe. So what I try and remember is that that's why, in my case, I do everything I have to do because this particular physical avatar has taken a lot of hits, particularly from the American Medical Association. I've had, 6 different major surgeries, 4 different hernia operations. I deal with bowel obstructions and a broken spine, okay? So when you're in a state of pain all the time, you understand what that does to your energy, okay? You're always being distracted by that, so you got to fix that. They took self-repair away, so I do my best to heal my own body. And I've been very successful at it. She does a great job, the girl on the planet. She's healed me tremendously. I wouldn't be walking around today if that wasn't the case. Because I got compression fractures all the way up and down my thoracic and lumbar spine. Normally, you'd probably see me in a wheelchair somewhere. I can't do that. I have to be up around and keep that energy going, my spirit. And that's what it is. Wear your spirit down. Wear your energy down. When you consider and add up all the data of everything that they did here, pretty simple. So that's why light workers and light warriors had to come in here. Restore the light, which restore the love. So naturally, I got a mower next to me. These things don't happen by coincidence either, do they? See, every event is linked and sequenced on your timeline. Okay? So the way I understand it, and I don't know if this is necessarily true because I just haven't given it any thought, is 2 timelines. You know, being what love is, an eternal light, which is eternal spirit, you already know you're forever. Okay? You represent the source from which it all comes. Life unfolds with love, doesn't it? That's simple. Children know that. At least the children that I've been around. So when I was listening to this video, all of a sudden, I could see it starting to go on reverse. So I thought, oh, that's a data flow interruption, isn't it? Yes. So that means that AT&T was preventing me, for whatever reason, the data flow in order for me to see what he recorded in the past. So one of the things that he mentioned that I thought was very important which is something I try to emphasize. Whether anybody who watches this video applies it to their own life because they understand and agree that, yeah, what you're saying is exactly what I'm experiencing because I'm feeling worn out. And there was two other words that he described, which is separation. Now, I knew years ago this is called separation of the herd. Now, I know in the best of all worlds, we think of ourselves as being one big race, if you will, of humanity. But I know better than that. I knew that as a child. Not everybody was cut from the same genetic cloth. Not everybody is vibrating at the same rate of speed. That's the purpose of the classroom, is to be able to attract enough light to become a more powerful magnet upon which you realize, man, I got all the energy I need. I'm never going to run out of what I am because I am what love is in living spirit. So that becomes the universe. It's easy to understand and know what your role and what your place is in all of this. That's not true for a lot of other people. As a result of what happened here, as a result of the way that memory works, when people present things to us, we put it in memory and we operate off of what's in that memory. So we run that program that doesn't serve us. Because instead of attracting more light, we're losing light. And that's exactly why they do what they do to us. So that we don't ascend. So that the events in which we experience from one single moment to the next, or one now time moment to the next, between present moment, future moment, past moment, okay? Sometimes I think, can they pause the data flow? Of course they can. Just the same way that we can hit the pause button on our own recorder. When you go into the past, you hit the rewind button. When you're looking at the future with a built-in looking glass, you're seeing what is possible in the future. So how much of the future are you trying to control? I don't worry about it. And why is that? Because I implicitly trust the girl on the planet. Okay? She's the one who gave me this that I jumped into in order for me to be here on this timeline. So I know the timeline that I run, which is no time, which is pure love, pure heart, pure light. Hey, so that becomes simple. Trying to describe that and be that when other people aren't experiencing that is a completely different thing. So I can't experience with being you the way that you experience you, which is, if it's different than that, then you're not experiencing the same eternal light, same eternal love that you feel through your heart that I do. But if you do, then you and I are in alignment with the truth. So we talked about detachment. So here's an example of detachment. I guess it was about 8 years ago I said, I'm done with this shit. I'm unplugging myself from this insanity. I'm burned out. I just don't want to experience this crap anymore. So I'm going to be with her. So I jumped in my truck, bought a tent, a sleeping bag, and said, I'm out of here. I'm going to go live like an Indian again. Go live in the trees. I'm going to go back as far as I can, so the only thing I'm experiencing is everything that is in nature. So I'm just going to be part of the landscape, just like a bird is, like a hawk, an eagle, a bear, a wolf, a river otter, a dolphin, whatever, okay? And go out there and resonate and live in peace, harmony, and balance with everything in nature. That's the natural order of things, isn't it? And so that becomes like living in paradise. You're enjoying yourself every single moment. You can't even wait to wake up the next morning, feel the sun, and say, thank you for everything you're giving me. So you're giving all your love back unconditionally. So now you're in alignment. So when he was talking about just let it go, which means the way that I perceive it is real simple. Quit giving them energy. If I choose not to experience what they experience because of what they present to us, that's their consciousness presenting to us who they are. Well, I'm not what you are. So that's why when I go through YouTube, I scroll through video after video because I don't want to put my state of consciousness and the speed through which I experience who I am through the speed through which they experience who they are by what they present to us. We're not who they are. That's a lower speed. That's a lower waveform. That's a lower waveform of communication. So we separate from that. That represents lower consciousness. They run at a slower speed than we do. They run in reverse. Okay? So we run in now time. So that's what's happening. The energy is speeding up. It's called separation. Between those that are running a certain speed, they can shift the gears. You know? It's like kicking the accelerator in, just like they kick the hadron accelerator on, power that magnet up, and that powerful magnet is in our heart, isn't it? So one of the best ways to do that's like me right now in Reno, Nevada. I don't want to be here. I'd rather be out on the Hawaiian Islands somewhere, experiencing how beautiful it is to feel the waves put me to sleep at night. Are you kidding me? That's paradise. Or going up to the redwoods. I got to get over there to start writing to my goddess all the love stories that I want to leave for children before I exit. So, it's painful to realize all of this because you want everybody to be able to experience the most beautiful energy that is possible to experience, that they're experiencing within who they are. And they can begin to realize how powerful the cosmos really is, because you're experiencing the higher speed and the higher waves that are possible for all of us to experience. That, how do I put it, liberates our energy, that's not being held captive by something that's trying to drain it and beat our spirit down. That's what a spiritual war is. How powerful is our spirit? How powerful is our energy? How powerful is our magnetic shield? That's really what this is. Those that are able to survive this in spirit. So I'll leave you with that to think about for the day. For those that choose to watch the video, have a great day. I love you all.